Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is another paid request, this time for Andrew. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, randomness, out of the blueness, topics, I already said that, commentaries, ranking lists, pretty much anything, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box down below. Now, the reason I'm acting kind of distant about, because I don't know what to say about this film. It's a film that I have the DVD because it was only like $1. It was probably like $2 back in the day. And I was trying to collect a lot for the Jim Carrey collection. Yes, Man. Now this is when I think I got this when one of the Blockbusters was going up the creek. That's why the Blockbuster logo. And this is a film that, in all truthfulness, it's not awful. This is not a rant. But this has never been one of my favorite movies either. From the director of Bring It On and The Breakup, Peyton Reed, the guy who would go on to direct the Ant-Man movies after this. Which they were going to be directed by Edgar Wright, but then he had clashes with Marvel because they wouldn't let him do what he wanted, so they got Peyton Reed, the director of Yes Man, to do Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp. And Jim Carrey at this time, he had done stuff like Man on the Moon, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I rather liked. I don't remember if this was before or after, I Love You, Philip Morris? But at the time, this is kind of him trying to get back into just a straight-up comedy. And, I definitely don't agree with this. Best comedy of the year. And there's some recognizable people. You got Terrence Stamp, General Zod from Superman 2 back in the day. He plays the leader of this guru group of people who are like a cult. Yes, say yes to life, say yes to this and that. Because our lead guy, Carl, played by Jim Carrey, he got through a nasty divorce. He's in a dead-end job. And he just never wants to go out, never wants to do anything. And his friends, played by Bradley Cooper, who would go on to be in The Hangover, all the Hangover films. And then the other guy is Danny Masterson from That 70s Show. They're like, oh God, this guy never wants to go out anymore, and he's such a drag, and he just want to stay home and rent movies. Which, I'm like, what's bad about that? But I get what it's going for. In fact, these are the two of them there, if you can barely see it. Now, he goes to one of these meetings. He decides, okay, fine, I'll try it out. And he gets his car out of gas, and the homeless guy he gave a ride to took his money. But then he meets this girl played by Zooey Deschanel, which she's likable enough. She brings a nice energy to the movie. And he's like, wow, this thing, maybe it does work. And then he starts saying yes to everything. And so the movie almost said, hey, remember Liar Liar? Let's have Jim Carrey do another Liar Liar type of movie, only instead of not being able to lie because of magic, here is Jim Carrey only says yes because he chooses to. And he's superstitious that if he says no, because one or two times he said it's bad things happened, oh my God, something bad will happen, I have to say yes to everything. And the comedy comes out of him saying yes to everything. So he says yes to going out to bars, he gets drunk and gets in a drunken fight. He says yes to helping out this old lady. She wants to help repay him by giving him a blowjob. He's starting to say no, some bad juju's happening, so he's like yes. So he gets a blowjob from like a 70-year-old lady. He says yes to things his boss says. Thus he's put into this Harry Potter club with his boss, who was a big fan of it. He says yes to singing lessons. He says yes to getting a Persian wife sent to him. He says yes to going on a random trip to Nebraska. That's kind of all the jokes and humor. And the movie I never thought was that hilarious. And this is a hard review to do, so I'm sorry, Andrew, this is a lame review, but I just never, even right now, I'm sitting there going, why is it that I never found it that funny, that hilarious? Like, I think of Liar Liar, and I think of just the explosion of energy Jim Carrey had in that film. The explosion of insanity, anxiety, predicaments. I think it helps that what made the premise of Liar Liar work was that he was doing it, but it was not under his free will, which further enhanced his physical comedy. Because the best bits is his mind thinking one way, but his body's reacting a different way. Whether it be trying to write and he's fighting with the pen, so his mind thinks red, but the body says no, this is royal blue. The goddamn pen is blue. As well as I just think that like Liar Liar, when he picks up the phone, he's like, "Stop breaking the law, assholes." I didn't really get any of that big loud laughs out of this. And it's that awful. Jim Carrey's that bad. It's nice to see people like Zooey Deschanel and Terrence Stamp, and Louise Guzman has a small bit. In fact, that's one of the bits that kind of made me chuckle, is that Louise Guzman is ready to be a jumper, but then, because Jim Carrey learned how to sing, his character, he finds a guitar and he sings Third Eye Blind. Get away from that ledge, my friend. Nah, nah, I'm on the ice. And then, like, the crowd starts singing. Like, that got not a loud laugh, but like a smirk. Like, okay. That's a nice usage of Third Eye Blind. And plus, it's always nice to see Louise Guzman in there. But I don't know, I guess it's just, okay, he says yes. And then it's like, and then what? Like, do you know he's going to say yes? But at the same time, he's not doing it because he's forced to do it. He's saying it, and it has to take Terrence Stamp to literally tell him, no, you don't have to say yes to everything. It's just, it's a good starter point of getting you out there into the world. I'm like, the fact that it took him this long to figure this out just makes him a fucking idiot. Just makes him a bit of a moron that he couldn't figure this out beforehand. Does his own superstitious ways. It's kind of like a meh version of Liar Liar without that electric energy of Jim Carrey in his prime. And I've seen him, like, even that Sonic the Hedgehog movie, he had that exuberance, but here, I know I can't prove it, but it almost seemed as if Jim Carrey didn't really want to do the film. It's not that he's sleepwalking through it, but it's like, oh, I better do this comedy because my films were failing at the box office, so I better make this hit film. It's kind of, well, I mean, it's, people don't get mad at me. This is like how I feel about Mr. Popper's Penguins. Oh, come on, Yes Man is so much better. To me, they're you don't have penguins pooping. I'll give you that. But what I'm talking about is that that's a film I don't find awful either. I just don't. It's like, okay, it's a family film. Jim Carrey's being goofy. And I don't think Jim Carrey's awful in that. Just like I don't think Jim Carrey's awful in this. It's just kind of mediocre comedies that just, they're missing something. I mean, Mr. Popper's Penguins is easier to explain because you don't need fucking penguins farting and the plot. But what I mean by the same feelings that they're not the worst Jim Carrey films I've seen. They're certainly not the best, though. They just kind of sit there and they go, I have this DVD. This is the second time I've watched it. The first time was when I got this back in probably 10 years ago. And the second time is now. I'll probably never watch it again. I mean, the finale, you know where it's going, because it's the typical, there's gotta be a breakup, and there is a breakup, because you know she's gonna find out that he's just been saying yes. So it's like, are you going out with me because you love me, or are you going out with me because you're afraid you have to say yes to everything? But then he opens up, gets back together with Zooey, and it kind of just... I don't even know what to say about the film. It kind of just sat there and went, it's not bad. It's nothing to get mad at, and it's nothing to praise. It's like, okay, it's a time waster. It's maybe like a 2 or 2.5 out of 5-star movie. I wouldn't give it 3, because 3 is like, at least I like the film. Here, I'm like, mediocre is the best way for me to put it. Mediocre doesn't mean bad. Mediocre just means meh. You know, I don't even think this film did a whole lot when it came out. I could be wrong on that. I remember at the time people thought, this is kind of a less funny version of Liar Liar. I mean, I don't know, maybe if this idea... Who wrote the film? Nicholas Stoller and Jarrad Paul and Andrew Mogel. Based on the book by Danny Wallace. It had to take 3 people to write this film? 3 people? I mean, maybe he had a different director, because the breakup... I mean, Ant-Man worked because of the concept and the actors, not because of the director. Let's be honest, Peyton Reed is not a director that would be sung through the ages for comedy. It's just, again, Ant-Man worked because of the special effects, the subject material of the miniature stuff that made me think of like Inner Space and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and, you know, the actors. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp, that's one of the more forgettable. I don't even remember hating that movie. I don't think I hated Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's kind of like this film. Really. Where I don't remember hating it, but I remember being just kind of forgettable film. And that's kind of how I view this. Kind of forgettable, meh. Some smirks out of me. You know, Jim Carrey is trying to capture his old self. And just something about it, though, just... I was kind of like... I love John Candy. You know, I love Summerento and Planes, Trains, Automobiles and The Great Outdoors. But then I look at a film like Delirious, and I go, Or... Try to think of other comedians. Eddie Murphy. I love 48 Hours. I love The Golden Child. I love, you know, Metro. But then I look at a film like... What would be a good example? You know, Boomerang. Well, no, I like Boomerang more than this. I'm trying to think, what's a good one for him? I don't say Trading Places, but that was kind of like a rant and review, because I just think it's a bit overrated. I don't know. I don't. See, I'm just falling apart with this, because I don't know what else to say. I mean, if you love the film, please let me know in the comment what makes you love the film. To me, it's just like the finale seemed predictable and kind of by the numbers, him saying yes to all this stuff is like a gimmick that, okay, that's the gimmick, but after a while, it's okay, yes, he said yes to get in the bed. And he's jumping on it with the glass of wine, and it doesn't spill like the commercial. Where is the comedy in that? Oh, okay, he bought a Persian wife. Okay, they went to Nebraska and they're at a football game and Jim Carrey's painted up in different colors. Okay, I mean, it's kind of a... It's where, like, Liar Liar is a one-joke movie in a way, but it showed how much Jim Carrey carried that film with that. When you don't have that exhausting energy, which is funny, this says High Energy Comic Genius by Hollywood Close-Ups. What the fuck, Hollywood Close-Ups? What the hell is Hollywood Close-Ups? Never even heard of that fucking thing. Hollywood Close-Ups. And no, there's not even any features on this either. So go figure. Yeah, this is a film I'll probably never see again. It's not the worst Jim Carrey film. It's not the best Jim Carrey. It's just forgettable. Kind of forgettable film. I mean, one of the things I remember is him renting 300 and Transformers at the video store. Go figure. Let's say Zooey Deschanel. She's nice. As in, she gives a nice performance. Likeable. Bradley Cooper, kind of just there as the friend. Although, oh shit, it's Bradley Cooper, but there's really nothing to the role, nothing to the performance. His boss, type of guy that takes things at face value, and just not as socially equipped as other people should be. I don't know. Even that cover looks weird. Something about this cover just looks weird because they're in the sky, they're flying around. Was it the boy? You know, the Dirt Bike Kid Part 2. Yeah, it's just flying around, high as a kite. Zoe's tits are ready to pop out of the screen. Boom, titties. You can't have that today. It's too on PC. And Jim Carrey's like, yay! This is a box office hit, right? Please. So sorry for the review, Andrew. I don't know what else to say. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.